Liger. Let us start with the heavyweight champion of the feline world, the liger. The liger is the offspring of a male lion and a female tiger. Now, you might be wondering why they are so much bigger than both. It is all about genetics. See, in the lion world, the dads want their kids to be huge to survive, but the moms have a gene to keep them small, so they do not outgrow the pride's resources. In tigers, that battle does not really happen. So, when you mix a lion dad with a tiger mom, you get a cat that just does not know when to stop growing. We are talking about an animal that can weigh over 1,000 pounds. To put that in perspective, that is like trying to walk 3 fully grown men on a leash, except the leash is made of titanium, and the men are actually a giant striped killing machine. But here's the part that shocks everyone: the speed. You would think an animal that big would be slow and clunky, right? Wrong. Jaglion. If a liger is the giant of the group, the Jaglion is the mysterious shadow. Born from a male jaguar and a female lion, this hybrid is incredibly rare. In fact, for a long time, people thought they were just a legend. But then came Jazara and Tsunami, 2 Jaglions born at a sanctuary in Canada. If you look at the dark cat in the second photo, you will notice something spectacular: the rosettes. Those beautiful, intricate patterns are inherited from the jaguar father, but they are laid over the powerful, muscular frame of a lion. The most striking ones are melanistic, meaning they are almost entirely black, with those ghostly spots peeking through. It looks like something straight out of a fantasy novel. But do not let the beauty fool you. These cats are built for pure performance. Jaguars have the strongest bite force relative to their size of any big cat, and lions have the raw wrestling power. When you combine them, you get an apex predator that is as versatile as it is fast. Wolfdog. Next up is an animal that bridges the gap between our best friends and the wild forest, the wolfdog. You can see one in the 3rd slot of the top row. Now, this is not just a dog that looks a bit scary. This is a literal cross between a domestic dog and a gray wolf, an eastern wolf, a red wolf, or even a timber wolf. This is where things get really interesting and a little bit complicated. Wolf dogs are a testament to how closely related these species still are. Depending on the percentage of wolf DNA, these animals can act like a loyal husky or a highly suspicious wild predator. They have this incredible haunting look in their eyes that tells you they know secrets about the forest that we will never understand. But what really catches people off guard is their endurance and speed. Domestic dogs are fast, sure, but wolves are built to run for miles and miles without breaking a sweat. Owning one is like having a roommate who is half best friend and half ancient spirit. They are highly intelligent, sometimes too smart for their own good, and their speed means if they decide to chase a squirrel, you are basically just holding onto a furry rocket ship. Grolar bear. Grolar bear, also known as the Pizzly bear. This sounds like a name for a snack, but trust me, you do not want to encounter this guy in the wild. This is a hybrid of a grizzly bear and a polar bear. Usually, these two do not cross paths because one likes the woods and the other likes the ice. But as the world changes, their habitats are overlapping more and more. If you look at the photo, you will see a bear that has the creamy white coat of a polar bear, but the humped back and brownish features of a grizzly. It is like nature is trying to create the ultimate survivalist. Polar bears are the kings of the Arctic, and grizzlies are the kings of the mountains. Combine them, and you get a bear that is surprisingly fast on both land and ice. While a polar bear is a bit of a lumbering giant on solid ground, a grizzly can hit speeds of 35 miles per hour. The Grolar bear takes that power and applies it to multiple terrains. Their speed is shocking because they look so heavy, but when they decide to move, they cover ground with terrifying efficiency. Wholphin. Now let us dive into the water for a hybrid that seems like it belongs in a movie about the deep sea. Look at the first photo on the bottom row. That is a Wholphin. No, I did not make that name up. A Wholphin is the extremely rare offspring of a female bottlenose dolphin and a male false killer whale. The name is a bit of a trick because false killer whales are actually part of the dolphin family too, but they are much larger and more aggressive. When these two species meet, the result is an animal that is essentially the middle ground of everything. They are dark gray, looking like a perfect mix of their parents. One of the most famous Wholphins, Kekamalu. showed researchers just how unique these creatures are. For example, a bottlenose dolphin has 88 teeth, and a false killer whale has 66. The Wholphin? It has exactly 77. Talk about splitting the difference. But the real shocker is their speed in the water. Dolphins are already known for being the Ferraris of the ocean, but false killer whales bring a level of power and bulk that creates a high-speed aquatic tank. They can leap higher and swim with more force than your average dolphin, making them one of the most agile and fast-moving hybrids in the ocean. Zonkey. If you ever wanted to see a donkey that decided to put on some fancy striped leggings, this is it. The Zonkey is the result of a male zebra and a female donkey. These hybrids are usually born when a zebra is kept in a paddock with donkeys, and they are absolutely adorable but also surprisingly tough. You see the stripes primarily on their legs and sometimes on their back, while the rest of their body looks more like a sturdy donkey. But do not let the cute appearance fool you. These guys have a personality that is 100% zebra. Zebras are wild, feisty, and have a kick that can stop a lion in its tracks. A Zonkey inherits that wild spark. They are much harder to train than a regular donkey because they have that zebra instinct to stay alert and ready to run. And when they run, they really move. Zebras can hit 40 miles per hour, and while donkeys are more about steady work, the Zonkey has a surprising burst of speed that can catch anyone off guard. They are like the rebels of the farm, looking stylish with their stripes, while possessing the speed and agility to outrun almost anything that bothers them. Hinny. In the 7th slot, we have the Hinny. Now you have probably heard of a mule, which is a male donkey and a female horse. But the Hinny is the opposite, a male horse and a female donkey. While they look very similar to mules, there are subtle differences. Hinnies tend to be a bit smaller and have more horse-like heads. If you look at the photo, you will see a sturdy, reliable animal that looks like it is ready for a long day of work. But why does the speed of a Hinny shock people? It is because they possess the refined gait and quickness of a horse combined with the incredible stamina of a donkey. While a horse might be faster in a short sprint, they get tired. A donkey can go forever, but is not exactly a racer. The Hinny finds that perfect middle ground. They can maintain a surprisingly fast pace over very difficult terrain where a horse would stumble and a donkey would take its time. They are the off-road vehicles of the animal kingdom. Their speed across rocky trails and steep mountains is what makes them so valuable and honestly quite impressive to watch. They are the unsung heroes of hybrid history, often overshadowed by their mule cousins, but just as capable and surprisingly quick when they need to be. Zo. Finally, we have the Zo, which you can see in the bottom right corner. This is a cross between a domestic cow and a wild yak. If you have ever been to the Himalayas or seen pictures of those massive snowy mountains, you have probably seen these guys. They are the lifeblood of high-altitude communities. A Zo is bigger and stronger than both a cow and a yak, which is a phenomenon called hybrid vigor. They have the long, shaggy hair of a yak to keep them warm in freezing temperatures, but the manageable temperament of a cow. But here's the thing about their speed that shocks everyone. It is not about how fast they can run on a flat track. It is about how fast they can move up a mountain. While a human is huffing and puffing just trying to breathe at 10,000 feet, a Zo is power walking up a steep incline with hundreds of pounds of gear on its back. Their speed in high-altitude environments is unmatched. They have more lung capacity and more red blood cells to carry oxygen, allowing them to maintain a pace that would leave any other bovine behind.